And good morning to everyone. My name is Todd Hershey, and this is your weekly reading. And today we're going to be looking at all the things that are causing you to want to go north, south, east, west, up, down, in, out, left, right, forwards, back, all at the same time and going nowhere. So, with that, let's get into it. Today's reading, or today's topic, is about being stuck. And for those of you who are interested and are watching this on my website, which is toddhershey.com, go to the interactive channel. You can actually see the cards that I have laid out in front of me and the energies based upon those cards and what we're going to be dealing with. Now, I firmly believe that we're in a situation that we've never really been in before. Not just in our lives, but for the last about 2,000 years, nobody's ever seen the circumstances that we're facing. So the circumstances of this, we're moving from the Piscean age, which we talked about last time, which is right, wrong, good, bad, duality of the fish, those that know, those who do not know, into the Aquarian age, which is the water bear, which is the guy with the water jug and water's coming down, representing emotions, feelings, thoughts, things like that. It's the sharing. It's a sharing image. And he's sharing his water, he's sharing his knowledge, he's sharing his information. And now we have all of this information. It comes to you via the internet, just like what you're doing right now, and everybody gets to see it. Now, the problem with that is that it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet or alcohol. Just because you can have more doesn't mean it's a good idea to get more. And you always kind of have to ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is this healthy? Am I putting like fruits and vegetables in my body? Or am I putting just raw, unrefined sugar and chemicals in my body? Because on the internet, you have both. You have really good articles from The Economist, AP, Reuters, really, really good stuff. And then you have all of the crap that you consume via Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. Now, I know for a fact that China is putting about 250 million either downright lies or deceptions into people's news feeds, creating fake news feeds and everything else. And people see these and think that they are the truth. And they're not. They're just a fourth generational war tactic in which they're trying to deceive you based upon what their aims and goals are. And it has nothing to do with the truth. You're just being manipulated. And for those of you who say, well, how do I know I'm not being manipulated by you, Todd? Well, you don't. I always suggest that you go and check out everything I say. Some things that I say are my opinion. For example, this is the greatest country in the world in a lot of ways. That's my opinion. It's not the facts. The facts are that there are great countries all around the world, and I'm sure there are people in Denmark and Finland and probably China and all kinds of different countries saying that their country is the greatest country, and to them it is. But a verifiable fact like 2 plus 2 equals 4 is pretty easy to pick up. And so when we start talking later today about some of the different numbers and things like that, don't take my word, do your research. Also, I was on a friend's Facebook page. And one of the things I absolutely love to do when I'm writing stuff down on people's feeds and things like that is to cite my sources. I'll actually put a link into what I'm saying and why. So when I hear the fact that we left $89 billion in materials in Afghanistan, I want to know where that number comes from that somebody just put in. And I want to go to someplace like, again, AP, Reuters, someplace like that, that actually has an actual number based upon people that are there, that are interviewing the military, doing things like that, not just random kind of, oh, I heard this from my friend's friend. One of the worst things you can do is post something that says, well, I hear people are saying. Yeah, people used to say that the world is flat too, and the moon was made out of cheese. Doesn't mean you want to repeat it, okay? We're coming into an area of personal responsibility unlike anything ever before. In the old days, the Catholic Church, the king, they would tell you what was happening. The church had the word. You would go on Sunday to hear the word. And that was where you got your news, that the fact that there's an army massing on your borders and you needed to protect yourself. So it was important that you go, get saved, and find out what's going on around you. Now, that whole system is breaking down. That whole feudal system came into the media system, the media ecosystem, and that media ecosystem is breaking down. The Fox News, the MSNBC News, if you watch these, you start to realize they're really not news. They're just basically, people being very juvenile towards other people. If you're calling somebody else a name, okay, the do nothing Democrats, the Republicans without souls, then you're starting to look at opinion and it has nothing to do with the news. So do yourself a favor. Watch 5 minutes of Laura Ingraham or Tucker Carlson. And in that 5 minutes, ask yourself, how many times do they use a statement that's predicated on fear? And how many times do they use a statement predicated on, shall we say, the illusion of right and wrong and the exclusion penalty if you're not in the right camp? And you'll find that a lot of these shows have nothing to do with news. Rather, they're trying to manipulate you into fearing something. Why? Because fear sells. How do you get into fear? Well, you confuse people. And that's what we're at today. We're at confusion. Confusion is wanting to go north, south, east, west, up, down, in, out, left, right, forwards, back, all at the same time and going nowhere. And the reason why so many of us are feeling that this today is because we don't know what's going to be happening to us next. We have the COVID, and that's changed and mutated. Next week, we're going to be doing a thing on how to stay healthy and health and what you can do for your health. But COVID has changed from the alpha to the delta, and everybody's wondering if there's going to be a third wave of something different. My opinion, yeah, there probably will be. I don't think we're done with this yet. And yes, I think that this thing will gain function, and it will gain several new functions probably at the end of this year, beginning of next year. So I'm looking at December, January as being kind of a shit show when it comes to health, strictly for the reason that there are a bunch of people out there that refuse to be vaccinated. And this is an example of how bad information has deadly consequences. People will die. People will get sick. People will lose family members. Businesses will go under. It will be extremely expensive. All because people are in a state of confusion. That confusion comes from a political class. The political class is looking to push an agenda forward, but that agenda is cracking up. The idea of right, wrong, good, bad, the whole thing about who is in control, is it the Republicans or the Democrats? You got to actually, if you're in that space, okay, but that's not what's happening here. We're fighting about what's actually good and healthy as opposed to what's going to kill you and what's going to make you sick. It's no longer about right and wrong as we knew it, i.e., I'm right, you're wrong. It's a question of looking around, looking outside you and say, is this making people healthier and happier? Or is this creating fear and causing widespread panic and sickness and eventually death? So now we need to start looking at the idea of who gains, who loses in situations like this. The winners, corporations, the guys that bring you fear, what I call fear porn on your television every night to make you terrified and make you feel like there's nothing you can do when there's tons of things you can do. For example, you can eat well, take your vitamins. You can work out, watch your diet. That's going to be the big one. Make sure your vitamin D is up there. You can talk with your friends, turn off the news, ask your friends to give you links. Trust me, in 5th grade, you had to show when you divided 7 into 3,942, you couldn't just write an answer up at the top. You had to show your work. In college, I didn't get away with just citing things and saying, well, this person said, and then not cite the source material. It was a pain in the ass, but hey, I did it. Why? Because everybody needs to be able to do the same thing, which is to cite your work. Okay? So have people cite their works. So where did you get that number from? How did you hear that? Where do you get your information from? All these things are going to be critically important for you to win. And by win, I mean to have a clear understanding of what's going on. Now, speaking of clear understandings, if you go to the website again, toddhershey.com, the interactive, if you're not already there, you'll see two pictures underneath this video. The first picture is of the energy going on around us. And for those of you who are wondering what the energy is that it's going around us, the energy that's going around us is that north-south, that's the seven of diamonds upside down, which is the north, wanting to go north, south, west, east, all over the place, not going anywhere. The next card is the idea of the Six of Hearts, which is the stuck energy or stuck emotionally. And the final card is the King of Spades, which represents lawyers, politicians, really smart, powerful guys that are really rich, business magnates, things like that. These are the guys that are pushing things and having agendas. Now that's the energy. So right now what it's saying is that confusion is stuck. And what's happening is that there's a lot of confusion that's stuck, and that serves some people's interests. Because when it's stuck, then you have panic sells. We can sell different things, make money. You also have a situation to where it's also saying that things are stuck, and emotionally there's nothing that those guys who are in power can do about it. And there are people that I know who buy and sell socks and t-shirts and pants and different things like that. And those people, beautiful, sweet, loving, incredible people, are kind of stuck because the supply chain is breaking down. And I feel bad for these people. However, the funny thing is that that's not really what I care about or worry about. I still got underwear, and I still got a couple pairs that I haven't even opened. And most people do. Most people got plenty of underwear. The stuff I'm starting to worry about is the U-joints for trucks, or the valves for airplane engines, and things that cause people to be able to get goods and services from one point to the next. Because without that stuff, we're all in a lot of deep trouble. And we need that stuff to be flowing. And what it's saying is that there's going to be confusion, and emotionally, there's not a lot of people picking it up and taking care of it. They're trying to, but if you've ever read anything like Premonition, you realize that the government is not always on top of everything, and they can't always fix everything that you would like them to fix. Now, when you go down into the next picture, and the next picture is all the cards spread out. And when all the cards are spread out, you can see certain things. That King of Spades is underneath the Ace of Clubs, which means it's a karmic thing. So the Piscean age of I'm in control and ruling things from behind the curtain is up. The time is up. That's what the Queen of Diamonds represents. They're going to have to take a leap of faith to do something new, and they don't want to. It's saying that they've always had the ability to shine, but that's done. The reason why is that basically they've had the money to do it, and they've had the money to stay in the just hidden. People who come to mind are Queen of England. People who come to mind are King of Saudi Arabia. You've got the Bank of International Settlements. You've got the guys at Davos. You've got all the different people and all the different power players who sequester themselves away. And even though they have a lot of money and power, they're not out in the spotlight like a Jeff Bezos. If you compare Jeff Bezos, his wealth, to the Queen of England, you will find very quickly that she has 10 times the amount of wealth that he does. If you look at the banking system and who's running that, you realize that the Bank of International Settlements has a lot more power and clout than our normal lockbox banks, which are Chase and Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and things like that. And what it's saying is that those people that are running those banks, the lockbox banks, are getting very nervous, upset. That's what the 10 of Clubs represents. And what's happening is that they need to do something new, which is what they're trying to do. The problem is that the new thing, there's only an amount of time because people are really getting tired. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling tired. And the reason why I'm tired is because it seems to be one thing after the other after the other. The wonderful thing about keeping people in terror all the time is that you can only ratchet it up so much, and then people just decide to go the hell with this. And I strongly recommend that you say the hell with your 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock news, and don't watch it. Don't watch the Tucker Carlson, the Maddows, things like that. Go online, go to your economist, if you want news, go to the Economist, go to the AP, go Christian Science Monitor, go to places that have people on the ground reporting without the name calling and things like that. It is saying that the new systems and new situations will be causing the people that we know who are usually in power and control right now to kind of be giving it up. They're going to lose power and control, kind of like with the collapse of the Berlin Wall and the Stasi just kind of evaporating. That's what we're looking at here. It's saying that the people here, forgive me for my eye contact, if I'm not looking directly at you, I know some of you have made mention of that, but for this, I'm going to need to just look at this. It's saying that right now, on an emotional level, they have fantasies of people in power have fantasies of being successful and remaining in control by doing new and creating new technologies for them to do be successful. My guess is that's the digital dollar and going into the digital dollar, because what it's saying is that they've had control over money, which means that they've been manipulating money, which means gold, silver, things like that, for quite a long time. Unfortunately, in the new age, you won't be able to hide that. You won't be able to manipulate that. And right now, everything is going out about, or the energies are about them shining. If they come out, they will be okay. If they stay in hiding, they will be in deep trouble. Think of it like you have to lose 5 pounds. You've got two choices. You can go to Sizzler for all you can eat ribs night, or you can go to the gym for the next 5 days and watch what you eat. One is healthy, one is not. And what it's saying here is that all the hidden recesses of all the different people need to be seen. And that's the mansions, that is the McDonald's, that is all the different people who are in Congress, all the different business leaders, the Tim Cooks out there, the Elon Musks out there. All of them are going to be given the opportunity to shine. And in order to shine, what they have is that they have a new situation in which you won't have people working and doing work the way they used to. So there's going to be a reshuffling in how we work, the way we work. We're seeing that with regards to weeks that are different. We don't go to work 5 days a week, work 10 hours a day anymore in a lot of places. We're doing these hybrid things. We're looking at what's going to be healthy. And the guys that are going to shine are the people that have a new relationship and take into what's happening with COVID, because I don't think, like I said, we're going away from COVID for at least a couple of years. It's a SARS-CoV-2, which means basically it's a flu. And just because you had the flu at 8 doesn't mean you won't get the flu at 38. It's going to be coming around. It'll change. It'll mutate. And we'll just figure out how to beat it. That's what I'm thinking. But it may take some time. So those of you who are going to shine are going to be doing new things and keeping your health systems up. I'll give you all kinds of ideas on how to keep those health systems up next week. Right now, there is a whole lot of wisdom in the idea of creating stability, which means going back to the things that we love, which are friendships, cooking at home, reusing things, making things from hand. We're looking at a supply chain that's going to get a little bit wonky, because it says whereas there's new ideas and new situations, you're going to have to be, shall we say, keeping up to date with everything. And by keeping up to date with everything, that means technology. We're not going to basically be using gasoline-powered cars in 30 years. Just like when when the first cars came out, 40 years later, most of the farms weren't using Bessie anymore. They were using a tractor. And that's what's going to be happening. The people that shine are the people who will offer clarity and friendship when it comes to picking a path as to where you want to go and what you want to do. Now, a lot of people have a problem trying to figure out what they want to do and where they want to go because they don't know themselves. And more importantly, we were taught that if you are successful, you have the big house, you weigh this much, you look like this, you are this, whatever. And all of that's out the window, because that was predicated on 2,160 years of right and wrong. And that right and wrong is no longer this generation's right and wrong. It's no longer this time's right and wrong. So if you want to know what direction to pick, ask yourself, what makes me happy, not what makes somebody else happy. We're finally breaking down those walls of it's more important to look good on the outside than to feel good on the inside, which is one of the good things that the COVID has brought about, which is people get a chance to really look and explore, does this make me happy? And for a lot of people, that answer is no. Their job didn't make them happy. Their relationship didn't make them happy. And they got to see what does and does not make them happy. Now, the second part of this is when you start feeling like, well, I need to do something. I have to have this or I have to have that. Don't go there. Don't be that person. Be that person that's Michelangelo. Some of us are just people that need to do many things at one time. Some of us are beautiful designers and also love to garden. And some of us fix airplane engines and also do incredible things with woodworking. And some of us are bankers and open cupcake shops. Don't limit yourself to just one thing. Right now, the opportunities are endless because the way things were and the way things are going towards are infinitely more possible. And that's what this is about. And that's why I'm saying to you, don't let the fear of all the newscasters and all the different things online and everything like that hold you back. Look at it as a new and exciting time filled with opportunities for you to succeed, go to new places, and do the new things that you've always wanted to do. Okay, that's it for me. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to contact me through the website, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Thanks for listening, and I wish you the best.